My name's J.M. Davey. So Justin Jackson and I, the director, we've been friends for about 10 years. We met at film school, lived together for a little while, and we've done a few projects together. And so when he was developing this, it was originally intended to be a short film and then grew into a feature. I was very excited about it. Sound design is essentially sculpting and creating the sonic environment for a film. The term originally comes from Walter Murch, who felt like he was an interior designer, but obviously he was working with sound, so he called it sound design.
It's like right here.
There's drums and vocals.
That's the LFE.
You're deciding where to place everything from interior air to voices to music, and so you're designing the sound. The other way that it's used is basically the person or people on your sound crew who make crazy fun noises. There are fundamentals and standards in how cinema sound is put together, that there are conventions that audiences understand. So other than things that are just sort of general cinema language, the only rules really that I take into every project I do are to try and find the emotional core and the story core of the film and figure out how we can represent that sonically. If I'm trying to figure out what I need to do or not do, it always goes back to serving the story. I think the biggest challenge with the film was probably something that falls under a technical aspect, and that is that because we're dealing with a band, we've got beautifully recorded, well-captured studio material, demos. We've got multi-track live recordings that Joe Morgan did a great job recording for us. We need to get it all into the film and have all of these sources of music flow from one another into one another in a way that is pleasing to sit and listen to. We spend a decent amount of time on the wake lift section. Because of the density, the girth, the weight of that music, the director Justin and the editor Jeremy chose to represent that with factory footage, heavy metals, liquid melted metals, flying embers. So I wanted to represent weight and density without getting in the way of the music that's playing at the same time. Do some fun, creative ways to complement the imagery on the screen, try to make it sonically interesting and engaging without calling too much attention to itself. Once I was exposed to Rosetta's music, it is very cinematic, it's very dynamic. I was excited about using that in a film and using it in a cinematic structure. So we worked closely with the band. They were gracious and gave us access to stems from their albums, which is essentially, it is the instruments that are largely mixed and then in food groups. So we get the guitars separated from the drums, separated from the bass. And the reason that that is so exciting to me as the re-recording mixer on the show is that we mix the film in 7/1, which means that I can take those instruments and move them around the space and sort of create a three-dimensional version of Rosetta music. you know, it was very gracious of the band to entrust us with that material, because, you know, you are really sort of giving away your baby for someone to rework. We tried to be very respectful to the intention of their music and essentially just sort of pull it out into a three-dimensional space in the 7-1. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is just being able to continue to do projects with people that I care about and having this long-standing and ongoing relationship with creative people that I like to work with. From a personal level, it's very satisfying and gratifying to continue this working relationship and to be able to feel proud of something as big as Rosetta Audiovisual.